I know. You're looking at this and going, where's the other guy? What the hell happened to the other guy? Why is this guy in the other guy's chair? Well, couple scenarios. Scenario 1, he's sick and indisposed. And then there's...
He's hanging by his neck in his fucking closet.
Be cruel to your school, 'cause you may never get another.
So originally I planned to edit and post one of the thousands of videos that I discovered Gunther had just squirreled away like a stanky ass chipmunk. But then I was like, you know what? He waited long enough with those. I guess I can put them aside for a little while longer too. Because a little idea popped into my head, guy. And this actually was inspired by a comment that our beloved channel mascot, Miles, put out there, guy. He said he had recently watched a video of ours that kind of reminded him of the old days where we kind of just waxed about this or that, at length. And I was like, okay, that's pretty cool that he has kind of like a nostalgia for that. And at the same time, this thing just like the moment I read that, this idea just popped into my head. And it's as simple as this. What if I told you the most outstanding story that comes to my mind for each grade that I went to school? You know what? The rule is simple as that. Whatever story just first pops into my head, that's the one I have to tell you. And I'm going to try to keep it to one story per year. But sometimes, stories kind of interweave and intermingle. So there may be, I suspect, a moment or two where a couple of stories come into the mix. But if they do, it's because they will be directly or at least somewhat significantly related to the main story. So, with that in mind, let's just get to it, baby. Pre-freaking K. So there's only one story I could tell about pre-K because I only went for a couple of fucking months. I've disclosed this on the channel before, but we grew up in a cult. Not some crazy Manson style shit or anything like that. The cult that we grew up in, was the Jehovah's Witness religion. I mean, really, we're being fair. All religions were a cult at some point, but they're largely considered a cult, and there's definitely cult behavior that keeps them very insular. And that was me, baby. And the fucked up part was that my parents, which, were my grandmother and my mother, we didn't really grow up with a father until he showed up years later. But they had just gotten into it. So, when you first get into something, especially something as involved as religion, you're really fucking zealous and fervent and ardent about the whole thing. So they were all about that business, And if you've ever been to school with a Jehovah's Witness, and I suspect a lot of you at least have encountered one along the way in school, one damn thing that stands out the most is that they don't get involved in any holiday business. Not a single damned holiday. There is a single holiday that witnesses, kind of recognize and quote-unquote celebrate. And it's basically their equivalency of Easter, basically, right? But other than that, and they don't do it with anybody else but themselves, but you ain't getting no holiday action out of them. And so there I was, some fucking little-ass kid, peon kid, being dropped off at pre-K, which I gotta say, pre-K kind of just felt like what I now recognize to be like a daycare. I don't remember learning shit other than how to make, a few crafts, I don't remember shit for the brief time that I was there. Maybe it got better as the year went along, but whatever. Anyway, I got left in pre-K, and the teachers, if you can really even call them that, they were left with explicit instructions not to allow me to participate in any holiday anything, right? Fair enough. But, fucking Halloween rolled up on everybody, and I don't know what it was. Maybe they felt pity for me. Maybe they didn't give a fuck. I don't know, man. I really don't fucking know. But these old gals, those two chicks, they said, hey, man, let's make some little Halloween crafts, guys. And you can join in too, boy. So they said, make a little pumpkin, make a little witch out of some paper plate shit and some construction paper. And, I made them, guy. Now, the pumpkin stayed there with my little name on it, just with the other pumpkins, and everybody took their witches home, right? So I come home with a little witch, have no idea why I didn't just drop that boy somewhere in the trash, anywhere, really. Nah, boy, I didn't fucking drop that anywhere except my mom's hands. And she was like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, it's fucking witch, man. Yeah, she wasn't having that. And the next day, man, her and my grandmother march up on that old school there, that old pre-K. And I feel sorry for the people because they got an earful, you know what I'm saying? Now, to be fair to my mom and my grandmother, they did tell them, you know what I'm saying? But to be fair to these people, I could have also said no, but I didn't. I was a kid, man. My will was as powerful as that of the fucking construction paper from whence the witch came. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't say no. Now you might be saying, well, yeah, you can't blame a kid though. Yeah, but they also knew. So I guess everybody's kind of to blame in this one. Although really, if we boil it down in a cauldron, if you will, a witch's one to be precise, this is much to do about fucking nothing, really, Not like I was going to go out into the fucking woods and perform a Black Sabbath just because I made a paper-ass witch, you know what I'm saying? So, whatever. Anyway, this fucking thing was a big hubbub, and my parents just said, well, he's not coming here anymore, and they took me out. And it was I don't know jack shit about pre-K. I don't have kids of my own, so I've never put anybody in pre-K. Is it fucking required or not? Because there was zero protest. They were just like, all right. Nobody fucking bugged my parents about it, I just didn't go to pre-K after that, So that is literally the only story I could tell about pre-K because that's about all that happened, guy. So, yeah. Basically, I just waited for kindergarten to roll around. What is there to say about kindergarten? Well, I would say it was pretty obvious that my teacher either found out about the pre-K incident or had a real private talking to by my parents because she was... Yeah, she was pretty much about not letting me participate in anything. And I feel like there was a little extra stank that she put on that boy, too. I suspect there was a little hate angle to it. Maybe it's because my parents were like, you better not. Or maybe it's because she just didn't dig witnesses. I don't know what the fuck. But she was not, she was not budging, guy. She was like, you're not even going to look in our general direction when we're doing anything vaguely, holiday related or anything, guy. So, I don't know. She came off as kind of a fucking ass, to be honest with you. Really strict. Maybe it's just because she was an old Gary Spivey-headed fuck. I don't know. But I wasn't vibing with her. She wasn't vibing with me. It was just a weird aura about how she went about everything, So, I say all that, not because that's the story for this year. The story for this year is actually fucking ludicrously lame. But I say all that because she was my teacher that year, and she comes back into the picture, when I go to first grade. So, I guess like a little foreshadowing there. But anyway, when I was with this teacher, nothing particularly outstanding happened that I can recall anyway, other than kids mad ate dirt. You know what I'm saying? Fucking the sandbox was like fucking lunchtime, guy. I don't know what the hell it was about kids and goddamn eating dirt, but that was the thing, We've all been to school and we all know there's like little fads and little things that people like to do. Like, oh, check this out. I'm jumping off the top of the fucking slide and I'm cool because, a variety of things that kids do. you know. Dirt eating apparently was the fucking top of the pops for fucking the kindergartners, man. They were eating dirt. Everybody knew that people pissed in the sandbox, and they were like, well, we're fucking eating that, boy, guy, to be cool. That was the cool thing to do. So what's a guy like me gonna do? Well, I decided, and I've disclosed this before, I decided that this was my time to shell out my rock eating skills, you know. I would fucking, I mean, obviously I wouldn't chew on them, boys, but I would swallow a fucking rock, and, you know, that was like I just one-upped you all. Y'all eating dirt, I'm eating rocks, boy. And, I got a quarter for each one, so, cool? Yep, told you that fucking first grade story was going to be lame. So let's move on. I'm sorry, kindergarten story was going to be lame. Let's move on to first grade, baby. Hey, old first grade. Well, I'm already going to fucking cheat because there's two things I want to say about first grade. The first one is that this is the first memory I have of having a friend that I gave a shit about, that I began to understand what friendship was, because I didn't really have that growing up. You know, we were a very isolated family from the rest of our relatives. To this day, we don't really fuck with any of our relatives except for our immediate family. And two, the whole cult thing, you know, I mean, you basically just adhere to this pseudo nonsense and did nothing else, you know. So I didn't really have any friends, and school provided that for me, man. And for the first time on first grade, I had somebody that I spent time doing things that were not curricular, you know, while being at school. And it was this girl. Her name was Yesenia. I remember she had a birthmark on her face, so she got made fun of a lot. And it wasn't even an unsightly birthmark, you know. It was just a simple little spot right there, you know. But that was like my first friend, and I remember not much about the things we do. You know, childish games, I'm sure, but I do remember being like, wow, this is what a friend is like. That's pretty cool. So just putting that out there because, hey man, that felt different, and that was kind of new to me, you know. And special, I guess, in its own way. I'm sad to say that, as you know, usually a lot of young friendships and relationships of that sort go. It didn't go beyond that year, but for that year, it meant a whole lot, you know. And I wish that it would have continued, but you know, it is what it is. But anyway, the story, though, now that I've given her props, the story actually has to do with that first grade teacher in a way. I'm sorry, I keep on saying first grade, that kindergarten teacher in a way. And that's because this year she was the principal of the school. Now, I wasn't really aware of that because I didn't give a flying shit. I was just a kid going to school, right? But I did become aware of it, and it all had to do with urine. Yep, the old pee guy. So, what does pee have to do with the principal there? Well, we were doing this class assignment, right? And my teacher that year was pretty fucking cool, by the way. But we were doing this class assignment. Everybody at the table, like, you know, the big long table and shit. And they had these old ass computers, you know. I don't even know if they were Apples or I don't know what the fuck, but they were old as fuck, you know. And first of all, I didn't even know what the fuck computers were, guy. I didn't know what the fuck they were at all. Be that because I was in this weird ass cult, because I was a kid, or because we were mad fucking poor, or maybe just all of those three elements worked together to make me completely ignorant to the idea of what the fuck computers were. So when I saw these things, well, really I didn't even comprehend the full breadth of what they were supposed to do, but in that class they had these educational games on them, right? And I was like, dude, you can play games on this shit? That's pretty rad, man. So anyway, we're all at this weird little conference table-like thing as a class doing a class assignment. And one by one, the students would go to the computer and take this educational game test thing that everybody seemed to fucking enjoy. And it was a, take your turn type of thing. Well, my turn was eventual. And as I waited for that turn, I realized that I had to pee badly. Here's the thing about me at that particular point in my life. I was very shy. And as aforementioned, my will was non-existent virtually, right? So a combination of those two things plus the need to fucking piss, that's a bad combo, baby. So my turn came up and I knew that I had to go to the restroom, but I was too fucking shy to even ask. So I figured I can hold it, man. I can hold it, not even thinking that there were still hours till the day ended, much less this fucking game. Also, I was thinking, if I go, though, it might cut into my game time. I gotta get on that game action, So I went to the fucking computer, man, and man, maybe the act of standing up took pressure off my bladder or some shit, but the need, the urgency to piss immediately ratcheted up to like 1,000,000, man. And I went over to the fucking little chair there in front of the computer, and it was one of those like plastic scoop chairs. I sat down and, God, boy, man, I had to piss, man. I had to piss so bad that it's making me want to piss now, just the memory of it. I'm like, man. Anyway, I decided I'm going to play this game and I could fucking tough it out. Man, I don't even remember what the fucking game was about. Did I even fucking do anything? I don't know, but I just sat there and I was like, I gotta piss, guy. I gotta piss. And in all my fucking childhood wisdom, I decided, well, if I just let out a little squirt, it might be contained, by my undies, guy. So I let out a little squirt, but I don't know, man. You know how it is. Once you let out a little bit, it ain't gonna stop, Unless you have the strongest damn muscles down there, you ain't stopping that flow, baby. So that mofaki just shot out, guy. Now I'm thinking, well, I'm wearing warm-ups, because apparently warm-ups was a fucking thing for me, man. I wore warm-ups forever as a kid. But anyway, I'm wearing warm-ups, and I'm thinking, well, the warm-ups, they can sop it up. No one will be the wiser, I'll just let them boys dry out, and then I'll go home and change out. Nobody's going to know. Excuse me. So I just let her rip, guy. And those warm-ups are filling up, guy. And, my turn was up. I'm asked to go back to the table. Next person's going to get up and go. And it's this chick. And she walks up to the fucking little chair there. I'm about to sit down, making sure nobody saw my ass side. And, goddamn, that girl immediately, guy. I must have left so much piss there for her to react so quickly. She was like, that dude just pissed on this chair. She didn't even hold back. She was like, that dude right there, he pissed this chair, and my fucking pants are wet because of it. And I'm like, God damn it. So, of course, being a fool, I'm like, nah, I didn't piss there. You pissed there, By the way, this chick stunk, so really she should have taken the blow for me. But anyway, fucking, I tried doing the old finger point. I'm sure the teacher wouldn't buy it. In fact, you know what? 100% I know the teacher wouldn't buy it. And, but the little girl was like livid, man. She was like, fuck this, And as I remember, and it could just be that the memory's so old and, you exaggerate things in your mind as a kid. So I remember her fucking arguing was incessant till the day ended. But, lo and behold, my parents come to pick me up, and my teacher, as kindly as she can, is like, yo, this thing might have happened. Might have my fucking ass, it clearly happened. But she was kind enough to at least say it that way. And, when I got in the car, my mom's like, yo, what the fuck's up? And I'm like, man, I fucking peed, man. Peed the shit out of myself. And she was like, well, that's a goddamn thing. And so I thought it was over, man. But the next day I come to school, and right out, fucking like 10 minutes into the beginning of the day, I get called out to the office. And I go into the office, and this is where I discover that my kindergarten teacher is apparently the fucking principal. And I'm like, oh man. So, as I had mentioned with her, with the kindergarten story, she wasn't about me, guy, you know? So I walk in, and the little girl's there, and her parents are there, and they're making a big stink. Look, I get it. Nobody wants to sit and fucking pee, but like, come on, guys. Kids, you can't let this one slide. Anyway, they get mad, blah, blah, blah. I guess they demanded something, and, you know, back then, you know, you got spankings, guy, if they were warranted. And apparently, my kindergarten teacher, now principal, decided, I'm gonna spank the shit out of this boy right here. You know? And here's the fucked up part. You know, I realize a lot of people are not about, you know, corporeal punishment for kids. I can't tell you one way or the other. Of course, you shouldn't hit a kid, like, in a way that hurts them. But, you know, there is some kind of a sort of wisdom, I guess, and as the saying goes, not sparing the rod, right? But I'm going to tell you right now, they didn't spare that motherfucking paddle on my fucking culo, guy. My culo was red, guy. And I'm talking red. And you know why it was red? Because, man, they pulled my pants down, guy. Right there. Now, at least the fucking other parents and the kid had left, but they pulled my pants down right there and fucking hit me with that paddle, guy. I do remember tears. Stinging in the eyes, you know, the little tear dropping. No wailing or anything like that. But the really fucked up part is that my mom was there. You know what I'm saying? She was like, yeah, go ahead and spank him. You know? It's weird, man. You know what I'm saying? The shame, it was really what made me cry. You know, like, man, my little fucking booty hole's out in the fucking air, guy. It's just there for everybody to see. What is that? So yeah, man, got fucking spanked. Spanked into oblivion. And that pedal was big, man. I'll tell you that right now. For fucking, or use a ruler or some shit, man. That pedal was humongous. But anyway, these aren't very big or momentous stories. But those are the ones that popped up immediately. And already now sitting here thinking about the coming grades. There's some big ones coming in, but these are I guess this is the more lighthearted ones here, the simpler ones. But hope you enjoyed that, at least to some degree. Tell me some of your stories. We'll be interested to hear that. And hey, man, tune in tomorrow because we're moving on to the next grade. I'm out.